my dad's making hurt.
My dear friends, welcome to the knowledge booth of Franklin OK. Today we are looking at a very interesting topic, also considering Africa. Do you know that most people are aware of the UN Sustainable Development Goals? 17 of them. But in my presentations across Africa and across the device, I ask the young people and even the adults that I meet, do you know about Agenda 2063? The blueprint of Africa that is looking at transforming Africa into that country, the Africa we want for the future. Do you know about it? And many young people respond that they have no idea. My dear friend, today with me here, Boris Ngala, we are going to delve into the 7 aspirations of the Agenda 2063. That is the blueprints, the pillars of the Africa we want. So we can look at all these pillars, 7 pillars. We'll look at them 2 by 2 so we can really understand that whether it is possible that by 2063, when AU, African Union, will be 100 years, whether we can really have the African that we are looking out for. This is important to me, and I'm sure it is important to you. Boris, you are welcome once again to the knowledge booth of Franklin OK.
Midase, thank you immensely for having me here. It's a great pleasure for me. Thank you.
Thank you. And for me, I know you have been traveling across the device from Dubai to your own country, Cameroon, to Nigeria, to Togo, to Ghana, going through most of the African countries. How do you see the landscape of Africa?
We are the most blessed continent in the world, to start off. And we have been cheated in so many ways. Of course, this is not like pointing fingers at the colonial masters who were the architects of Africa. I think Africa is at the age where we have to now stop pointing fingers at the architects of Africa, the colonial masters, and become our own architects. The architect of Africa had their interests at heart. At partitioning Nigeria from Cameroon, Ghana from Togo, Ghana from Liberia, Ghana from Sierra Leone, they had their own interests. And in order for us to actually take hold of our blessing, we have to become our own architects. And now is the time.
Thank you very much. And indeed, if you look at the Agenda 2063, which is the blueprint, the master plan to transform Africa into a global powerhouse, I believe that some of these key issues that we are looking at have been critically dealt with. And the first thing that I want us to look at in the Agenda 2063, in the 7 pillars to transform Africa into the African that we want, which you are talking about, that, you know, the scramble for Africa has partitioned us and putting barriers across us. One of the key pillars is that now, pillar number 1, integrated Africa. Is it achievable by 2063?
It is achievable if, we take these things into action. If Africa take action, for instance, the AU, African Union, if they take proper action to enforce the borderless, to enforce the Africa trade, agreement, so to speak, and they go further to enforce policies that will enable Africans to travel from one country to the other without being treated the way they are right now. For instance, myself, traveling from Douala to Accra, paying an exorbitant amount, an unbelievable exorbitant amount of $1,500 is unacceptable, So I think that it is high time for authorities, powers that be like the AU, to take action and not to sit back.
This is their own policy. So I believe that certain measures are being taken, and we have to, the youth should understand that we have this pillar. Where we push our leaders that this is something that AU have and grafted, that by 2063, we are going to achieve an integrated Africa. Africa as one, United States of Africa, where there are no borders, where our currency, look at us, we are fragmented, different currencies. So trading among ourselves becomes difficult. And this is why the young people who are listening to this podcast, take your time. How do we integrate? From Cameroon, how do we break the barriers with Gabon, Central African Republic, Equatorial Guinea, all these countries surrounding? How do we practically do this?
I have peace in my heart because we have started it already, Sir Franklin.
Yes.
We have started it already. You see, Ghana and Cameroon, we are here seated, and I'm in Ghana's regalia.
Yes.
You know, this is amazing. We have started it already.
Yes.
This is the beginning, and it does not take 2, 3, a lot of 20 million people to start something.
Yeah.
It takes just few handful of people that believe in an ideology, and an ideology is something you cannot kill. Whatever be the case, I am so convinced that a day is coming. Africa will trade within itself. Africa will sell to itself. Africa will feed itself. Africa will stand up for itself. Africa will fight for itself and its children. The time is coming. Yes, and the time has started. Like we're just sitting here now.
And that correctly leads to the second pillar, which is the prosperous Africa.
Yes.
Once Africa is well integrated, and I look at the framers of the Agenda 2063, it was well thought through. Once Africa is integrated, the second pillar is that we have to prosper.
Exactly.
Prosperous Africa. How do you see this happening?
It can be achieved through the most important assets that Africa has, not its resources. I mean, the resources embedded under the soil of Africa or in the seas of Africa is just not up to even 1/4 of what God had blessed Africa with. The highest blessing of Africa is its youth. It is its youth. The youthful population of Africa is a threat to the entire world. We are the youngest continent on the planet, and this is a blessing that should be utilized.
Now, with the youth as the best resources we have in Africa, some of our leaders believe that the African youth are lazy, and it has gone up. What do you think of this analogy that has been said by quite a number of African leaders that the African youth is lazy?
I don't think the African youth are lazy. That should be a generalized statement. It's just the same like you go to the US and you will find United States citizens that are homeless on the streets. And you cannot use a generalized statement on the minority, categorizing a whole nation or a whole continent that they are lazy because you find homeless, youth or homeless people in the United States. The United States has people too that are useless. They are gamblers. They live in Vegas. They are in one gambling house to the other. You have people too that are sleeping on the street. They don't have anything, any shelter. They have nothing to show for. It's the same thing everywhere. Africa has its own fair share. So you cannot use, a cube of sugar, maybe in an ocean, or a drop of water in an ocean to say it is something that is across the continent. No, I don't believe that Africa's youth are lazy because myself, I'm not lazy. You yourself.
Yes, so I'm not lazy.
You're not lazy.
I'm not lazy. And I want to assure my young people who are watching this podcast across wherever they are in Africa, don't accept the tag that African youth are lazy.
Yes.
Don't accept. It may be in reality with some young people, but don't accept that generalization that African youth are lazy. There are some young people who are amazing and they drive. If you look at Article 16 of the Agenda 2063, it says that with the right investment in education, technology, and entrepreneurship, the potentials of African youth to drive sustainable development and transformative change is boundless. And this is where we need to let the young people know that this is one of the pillars of the Agenda 2063. Let's educate ourselves in the right education, right technology, and entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Important three things. And I know Africa is doing well in education these days. Our young people are going to school. That's why you can have 12 million people graduating every year.
Yes.
And in terms of technology, Africa is becoming the next hotbed
Yes.
for technological transformation by the young people.
That's right.
And we are going to have the next Zuckerberg and all that coming right from this continent.
Yes.
So if you're a young person, you are thinking of developing, you are in the cybersecurity AI space, remember you are a resource to this continent. And you need to be able to, don't accept any tag that we are lazy.
I mean, just that tag alone is a betrayal to the African youth. It's a betrayal, it's a total disaster. It's a catastrophe. You cannot macadamically treat the youth as if we are people that don't own the future. We are the future. The youth owns it. You watching me as a youth, you own the future. You are the future. You know, Africa's future depends on you. Africa's future relies on you. Africa's future trusts you. And you cannot betray Africa. This is where we come from.
Now, let me come to the idea of, prosperous Africa again. Now, here we are. The president of the United States of America, Donald Trump, is now looking at withdrawing different aids from Africa. US aid is totally closed down in Africa. And people feel that alone will kill us. How do we leverage on what we have to make our continent prosperous?
Great question, Sir Franklin. I'll ask you a question.
Yeah.
Where to ask your question? Have you had your lenses on, or maybe a key or a pen in your hand, and then you were looking for it everywhere?
And there have been situations where my car key will be right hanging on my finger, and I'll be asking my wife, where is my key? Where is the car key? Where did you drop it? It has happened a couple of times. You're blaming somebody while the key is right in your hand.
The solution of Africa is Africa. No white man out there comes to Africa without their own interests first at heart. Yes, they have their interests first. We have been looking for solutions far away while we have the solutions right here with us. It is just like the analogy I've given here. You have your key in your hand and you're looking for it everywhere, and you end up accusing your kids or your wife or your brothers. That is just the reality of the mentality Africa has harnessed, has entertained for the decades past. But now we are saying, let us all realize, let the AU realize, let all the leaders realize, the president realize, ecosystem leaders realize, organizational leaders realize, all of this, community leaders should realize. So, this is the people in charge of offices that have power should realize that the solutions that they have been looking for far away is right here with us. And it could start with these same youths that you say they are lazy. If you give them the right skills.
That's education.
Education. Not just education, sir.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Yeah. What kind of education?
So the white education has not helped.
Has to be access to quality education. Because when we look at the structuring of Africa, there is one thing that is very clear to us, that the architecture of Africa, design our education to almost be useless. Because tell me, why are we studying things that are obsolete till date? Why are some of our curriculums already obsolete? The job market is 2,000 miles ahead, while the students are studying something that once they graduate, The job market has gone 3,000 miles ahead. Why? Why are we keeping archaic curriculums? Why? So we need access to quality education, not just education, but we need access to quality, meaningful education that will empower the mind, that will bring a change of mindset, that will bring about good morals, that will help holistically the African youth to exercise the Africanness.
Amazing.
In them.
My dear, I believe that this podcast has been of immense benefit. Let us get to know the pillars of Agenda 2063, the aspirations. We've just dealt with two: integrated Africa and prosperous Africa. This is what we believe in. We'll be going through the rest. I just stay through and keep learning, keep reading around it, and let's begin to build the Africa we want. Thank you.